Do you need some ideas for morning time? In this video, I'm going to show you what we use in our April morning basket, so stay tuned. Hi and welcome to Homeschool Pick and Mix. I'm Lisa McKenzie, a homeschool mum of 4 kids ages 5 up to 12. I created this channel to bring you encouragement, tips, tricks, strategies and advice to help you on your homeschool journey. So if you like seeing videos like this, please remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification button next to it so you're told the next time I make a video. In our family, we absolutely love morning time. You might also have heard it called morning basket. These are the same things. What it is a time when you gather the family around together and you're doing group learning. Now it can happen any time of day, it doesn't have to be in the morning, but for us it is at about 10:30. And what we like to do is sit together at our big dining room table, and I've set it with lots of yummy food, and we've got a teapot with some fruit tea and some colourful teacups, and while everybody's enjoying eating and drinking, then I'm going to rotate through a selection of resources that I've chosen for the month. The way that I organise our morning basket is that I have one thing that I do every single day, then I have 2 things that I will do on alternate days, and then I have bulk things that I will rotate throughout the week. So the thing that I do every single day is Bible reading, and for April we are reading through Matthew and then Mark. So the 2 things that I like to do on alternating days are our 24 Family Ways by Clarkson and Bible Memorization. So with our verses, what I do is I've got this clear file here and I've just written them out on some card, ones that relate to our family at that time, and then I've set them to little tunes. And so our kids will just sing through that a couple of times, and then we'll go to the next one, sing through that a couple of times, and so on until we've done them all. I find having the tune actually helps them to memorize it better, and they actually find it quite fun. We incorporate different aspects of singing into it, so sometimes we'll sing really quietly, sing really loud, sing in a high pitch, sing in a low pitch, whatever it is. It makes it a bit more fun, but they actually remember the verses as well. Now if you're not into singing, you don't need to. You can actually just get them to verbally say them in like a nice pace and at a volume that you can hear, things like that. They will learn it, and the consistency is what sinks these verses into their heart. The next thing is our 24 Family Ways by Clarkson. It is a family devotional that is character-based, and it teaches ways that you want your family to behave. Now, I really love this book, and I highly recommend it. You can find it on Amazon or at bookdepository.com. I will choose some verses, and then we will practice it for the week. And so this one is, we choose to be patient even when we feel like getting our own way. Another one is, we choose to be peacemakers even when we feel like arguing. We take care of what we have, using it wisely and responsibly. We are content with what we have, not coveting what others have. Now, inside here, there is lots of different questions, Bible verses, things that you can talk about, but what I like to do is just choose one that matches our family for the week, and then we will talk about it in our own way. So we'll say, well, what would that look like if we did do that in our family? What would it look like if we didn't do that in our family? How can we incorporate this into our life? And we will memorize them, go over ones that we've previously memorized, and then try to implement them throughout the week. The reason I love this is later on in the day or in the week, if something crops up and it's related to this, instead of just disciplining your kids, you can say to them, hang on a minute, do you remember our family way? Our family way is to encourage each other and bless each other with our words and lift each other up. And they go, oh yeah, you're right. And instead of sort of feeling told off, then they just feel like they're being reminded of what our family way is, and they actually make the choice to behave like that because they're part of our family, and that's what we do. I highly recommend this book. It is well worth owning, or at least trying to get your hands on a copy, maybe from the library or from a friend to be able to borrow. So this is our April morning basket haul. Don't be surprised or worried or think that it looks like a lot and you're not going to be able to get through teaching this all in one day, because you're not required to. This is a rotating system. So the way I like to work is that I take the first thing off the top, which happens to be our Mad Libs today. Mad Libs is a really fun way to be able to teach parts of speech to your kids. So what this is a pad full of different stories, and they are missing some words. Where the word is missing, it will tell you what your child needs to provide. It will say something like noun or plural noun or verb. And if you've forgotten what those things are, at the front of the book, it actually tells you, so you can have a little refresher as well. Now, after you've asked your kids for these words and you've filled them in, you don't read the story just yet. It's a surprise until the end. Once it's all filled in, you read it out to them. Now, it is a complete nonsense story, and the kids find it hilarious. My kids are in hysterics, and they love it so much that they always ask, can we have another one? Can we have another one? And we end up going through quite a few. I really like it as a light-hearted, fun way, but still effective to learn parts of speech. Once I've completed that, I'll put it to the bottom of the pile and choose the next thing on the top. Our read aloud for the month is Autumn Days with the MOODYS. This is written by a Christian homeschooler called Sarah Maxwell. She's actually an adult now. Her family own Titus2.com, and that's where you can find these books if you want to buy them. I really love these stories. The characters are Christian homeschoolers. They're quite wholesome stories, and they get up to things like helping the neighbour and taking care of the dog and, doing yard work and all these sort of really typical things. The characters are really, really respectful to each other and to the parents. And I actually noticed that after I've been reading these to our kids for a few days, their behaviour sort of sharpens up a little bit. My kids are great kids anyway, but it does. They become a bit more respectful to each other and more helpful and more polite. It's like that old saying, you become like who you hang around. And when my kids hang around the characters in these books, it definitely rubs off on them. So I like it for that, but I like it that they enjoy listening to these stories so much as well. Now, because April is a long month, if we get through this book, we'll just go on to the next one in the series. So after I've read a chapter or two in this book, I'm going to put it to the bottom of my rotating pile and take the next thing from the top. Next in our April morning basket is Book 5 from the Christian Liberty Nature Reader series. Other books in this series include things on insects and animals, but for us in this book, it is about the human body, and we'll cover things more like bones and muscles and the circulatory system and things like that. Now, even though we have our own health curriculum and our own science curriculum, I really like going through this with the kids, so I know that they've got that joint group understanding. So what I would like to do is just read through a couple of pages, and then if there's review questions, we'll just verbally do those together. And then once we've done this for the day, I'll just add it to the bottom of our rotating resources. Now, before I carry on, I just want to give you some encouragement about how many things you need to get through in a day. The reason that I really love Morning Basket is that it is a very flexible system. So you can choose the amount you do in a day based upon your family's needs. So if it is a busy day and you're going to the zoo and then the hairdresser, you might just do your priority items first, which for us would be the Bible and then either our memory verses or Clarkson's 24 Family Ways. If it's a really busy day, that's all I might get done. If it is a bit of a more easy day, we've got a lot of time at home, then I'll do those priority ones, and then I'll just start going through the pile, and I'll just carry on until we all need a rest, or until I've got something else that we need to do like lunch, or if we do have friends coming over, or anything else like that. So you can actually just tailor it to your needs. You might do your priorities and just one or two things, or your priorities only, or your priorities and then 4 things. The other thing is you don't have to have just what's in this pile. You can spontaneously add something else. So if the kids are suddenly talking about crickets because they're seeing crickets all over the ground because the weather is getting hot, then you might just draw on that and go, hey, well, why don't we just Google and YouTube crickets and learn a bit about that? You can include things in and just take things out as you need to. You're not stuck. It's not in cement. You don't have to be fixed with these things. You can be very, very flexible and just have it meet your needs. The reason that this is so good is that over a month, you've taught all of these things. It's not like you have to have pressure to get 7 things done in a day, which would probably drive lots of homeschoolers mad, especially considering you've still got the individual work to do if you do that kind of homeschooling. So just relax, take it easy, and get through your priorities, whatever they may be, and then just tick off what you can in the day. Also, some people might break it up. So you might do half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon, or if you've got little kids and they just need to move around, you might do 15 minutes, go play outside, another 15 minutes, go play outside, eat some lunch, come back in the afternoon, another 15 minutes. It's just that group learning when you're definitely together. My kids, being 5 up to 12, can handle sitting at the table for an hour, but not everybody can. Mine can sit at the table for a couple of hours, but not everybody can. And it really depends on the day. It depends if everyone's had good sleeps, if anybody's sick, and the activities. I know if I include an art activity like clay or painting or drawing, my kids will be there for ages. So don't worry about the time that you're spending on how much time you have to spend. Don't feel like there's a goal that you have to achieve and you're failing if you don't meet it. Just think about creating your pile of resources and then just rotating through them, just ticking them off, and look at it as a big picture over the month. The next book is 100 Australian Poems for Children. Our family really loves poetry, and I've chosen this book today because we can also learn about a different culture this way through the lingo that they use and through the topics that they talk about. So I'm not going to read the book front to back. What I'll do is I will just flick through and choose something that either has a nice picture that the kids have seen and they want to read, or something that sounds funny that they might like, or it might be that it's a particular style of poetry, like a limerick, and I want them to learn that style, and so we'll read through those. Sometimes I will end up reading the poems over and over again because they really, really like them and like the rhythm of it, and they want to hear it. They like the way the words sort of flow off their tongue and it captures their imagination. So that's really good. If you get asked to read it again, really, really do. Another thing is, if I have come across a style of poetry that I like, say the limericks, at the end I can just shut the book and we'll take out pens and paper and we'll practice our own limericks. You don't just have to read the book and then put it down and go on to the next thing. You can sort of go off on rabbit trails. So if you are wanting to learn about who the poets are, you might Google them, or if you want to hear poetry slams as well, just because you've started talking about it and it's taking you on that tangent, then YouTube some poetry slams and show them to your kids. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. It is really fun to include poetry in your morning basket. If you haven't tried it, I suggest going down to your library and picking a fun book that you would really like to read and giving it a go. So once we've read this, it will go to the bottom of our rotating resources and we will choose our next item. Next up is Volume 2 of Hero Tales. Hero Tales is a really amazing collection of short stories that are inspirational and motivational, and they're about our Christian heroes. People like Elizabeth Fry, John Bunyan, Florence Nightingale, Watchman Nee. Now these are short stories, really captivating, and at the end of them there's a Bible verse that you can talk about, and there are some questions that you can talk about that will draw out their thoughts about the story. I find it very beneficial to be able to tell the kids about these true Christian heroes, people who have been in some really difficult situations and had big decisions to make, but they chose to do these very incredible things for the Lord and for other people. And they were seemingly ordinary and had like a profound impact on all the people around them. I think it is good for them to have these people as role models, so then if they are in any times of sort of hard decisions for themselves, then they can look back on them and gain some encouragement and some sort of guidance in the right way to go. After we've done this for the day, it's going to go to the bottom of our rotating resources. To help us study the Renaissance artists, I have this book called the Renaissance Art Book. It is a very beautiful and well laid out book with amazing pictures and really clear text. It's not too heavy, so it's very easy for the kids to take in, and it's easy for me to deliver as teaching content. I really like to be able to draw their attention to features in the pictures. I like them to have a guess at what the media is that they used, or why they may have used such vibrant colours. What were they trying to express in the painting by doing that? And things like, can you see any little details? I might find something at the picture and see if they can find it. Things like that, so they can really start looking at the artwork. After we've read that, I will probably hop onto Google or YouTube and we will look up more information on the artist so that can extend their learning. Then this book will go to the bottom of our rotating system and we'll choose the next one for the day. The next one is something for my younger two, and it is ZINGO. This is a sight word bingo game. This is a fun way to be able to teach them and reinforce for them their sight words. And for my older two kids, they just really love being able to have a game with their siblings. I really encourage you to see what kind of educational games are out there that can support you in your teaching and in the kids' learning, because it does bring heaps more fun and heaps more joy into your day, and we definitely want to add some of that into our morning basket as well. Then after we've done it, it goes to the bottom of our pile and we'll go back to the top, which was our very first thing, back to Mad Libs. If you're currently doing morning basket or some sort of morning time, I would love it if you'd go down to the comment box below and write what resources you really love. I am always looking for new ones to do with our kids, and it would also help our other viewers when they read your comments as well. You might also like to see some of these other videos up here that I've made to help you. And if you think this video could bless anybody, if it would provide anybody with some encouragement or some ideas, please share it with them. Happy homeschooling and have a great day.